Figure it out how. Watch me as I break this thing down now. Hey everybody, and welcome to Stand on Business. My name is Evie. You can find me online as Evie the Takeover on all platforms. Today's episode of Stand on Business is just me explaining why I started this in the first place. Me personally, even though I can be extremely extroverted, I don't mind stepping into a leader position. I can be very vocal sometimes. I actually grew up struggling with sharing how I really felt about things. And not because I didn't know how I felt about things, but because I was so used to surviving by giving everyone what they wanted to hear or letting them see what they wanted to see. That was the easiest way for me to get through school as an honor student, right? You give the teacher what they would have said in response to the prompt. And look at that, you got an A for responding exactly how they would have versus how you actually felt or expressing those thoughts. Same thing for your parents. You know, you do as you're told, you do whatever, you fall in line. You just mirror what people want to see, and usually you get good results, right? So I was used to surviving by giving everyone what they wanted to hear. And while this worked great to get what I wanted most times, it really did nothing for me in terms of personal growth and development. I was great at being transactional. I was great at being adaptive. I was great at assimilating. Getting what I wanted, but not being who I was or who I wanted to be in my most truest self, I guess you can say. Like I said, I was constantly adapting, assimilating, changing form, like Mystique from X-Men. And the trouble with that was I was actually getting rewarded for it. So instead of being rewarded for being myself or asking questions or going against the grain, I, most of the times, was rewarded for falling in line, not asking questions, being complicit. So the second reason why I started Stand on Business was I hope that sharing my thoughts helps someone else feel less alone. I feel like nowadays, like with social media, you just have to be so perfect. I mean, even before social media, people just look at you, they judge, they talk, and we are expected to be quote unquote perfect. We are expected to just know everything and question nothing. It makes zero sense. And we're shamed for questioning things, and we're called difficult. So, yeah, I hope that me sharing my thoughts about random things and social problems and just things coming up in general might help someone express their unconventional thoughts or conventional thoughts, right? Like sometimes my thoughts are hella basic, but it's important to still get them out and understand how I feel about things in relation to the world and myself. So yeah. Another reason why I started this show was I firmly believe that artists are philosophers, right? We are philosophers who are also living embodiments of our theories and ideas. What does that mean? That's a mouthful. So I feel like you can tell a lot about an artist, what they're going through, what they represent, based on who they are, how they dress, how they decide to speak in an interview, the songs they write, how they dance or don't dance, how they change or don't change, right? I think it's really important. And I think that that's a part of the magic that helps artists connect with audiences, but also help you guys get through certain emotions and put the words and feelings to certain things you might be going through. I remember a lot of artists did that for me. So, yeah, I think artists are philosophers. I think we are living embodiments of, or at least we should be, right? We should be living embodiments of our theories and ideas. So I'm going to try to stay as true to that as humanly possible. Now, I have always, been involved with like social issues, and I can't be the person to just stand around and not care or not assess certain things. So I'm going to be touching on a lot of topics that are not music related, and I think that's okay because I'm a person, I'm a human living in this world with y'all, experiencing these things with y'all. And a lot of times my art is a product of the feelings I'm feeling and the things I'm going through at the time, which are also sometimes reflections of how other people might be feeling. So another reason I started this is because, like, damn, all of our celebrities right now are literally crumbling. Like, it's falling. That perfect public persona is gone, right? Things are in shambles. I'm in shambles. I'm like, damn, I didn't, like, it's not that I care about celebrity gossip or anything like that, but a lot of these people shaped the culture, and they were the music I grew up listening to, the faces I grew up familiarizing myself with. And I just know right now it's hard to be a fan. Like, it's really hard to trust artists anymore. Or anyone, politicians, like anyone. It seems like every day we're learning about a new scandal or something horrible that someone you looked up to did or supported did, right? I think there's nothing worse than knowing that you were putting money in somebody's pockets while they were out there doing foul things. So I think that now we're at a point in entertainment where, like, people care more about who you are and what you're doing first, and then they'll care about how good you are and how your music sounds and what your art is doing. But they need to confirm you're not a shitty person anymore. And for me, I can't confirm whether or not you're going to think I'm a shitty person or agree with me or not. But what I can say is I will be 100% honest on here and transparent about who I am and how I feel about certain things, and then leave it up to you guys to make your own judgments and, you know, say your own opinions and share or don't share or block me or whatever y'all want to do, right? But I'm going to be honest and try my best to start developing that trust, because it's really hard to trust artists right now or anybody. And like I said, it sucks to know that somebody you supported is out there doing wrong. I feel like the best way to get on top of this is to develop that trust or just share more about what I think, how I think and feel about certain topics, how I'm processing information, who I am. Yeah. You ain't gotta know everything. Like, you ain't gotta know my social, my blood type. Like, damn, y'all. But, nah. You get to know me, though. And I'm gonna hopefully get to know y'all through the comments and through my lives. And, you know, this is really a community we trying to build here. So I hope it encourages you guys to be more open and vocal about how you feel. You know, it's not about right or wrong. It's just about growing, learning, and standing on business, right? Another reason why I started Stand on Business was that nobody really talks about anything anymore, which I think is so interesting, right? Because we have so many different ways to communicate now. So many different types of technology, so many new apps, so much new software, right, that can connect us through video, audio, text. I mean, any type of way you want to connect, even virtual reality. Like, your ass can pop up in a fucking, like, avatar version of you if you want. Like, listen, okay? But no one talks about anything anymore. Like, everybody kind of just regurgitates whatever is currently trending in their little isolated digital bubbles and communities. And other than that, you know, it's giving mob mentality. It's giving everything feels extreme. It's giving you can't ask questions. It's giving you're either with us or against us. Like, can we even have a conversation? It's giving, you know, you should have known this already. Stay quiet. Like, what the fuck? It's giving, y'all don't verify sources. Like, we just share shit and go with it. We're easily manipulated. We don't do our research. Like, so I really hope to encourage everybody as a human being, as an individual, as a citizen of Earth, right? To just start doing our research more and not taking things for face value or playing telephone with information that can actually change our lives, right? And finally, The last reason I started Stand on Business is because I was a debater my whole life, and I really believe in the art of communication and discourse and the power, that gives you, not just for advocating for yourself, but when you're advocating for others or your community. I think that that's so important, right? Just the art of discourse and communication. I think that's so cool that, I know all animals communicate, but like human beings, we literally have a way to communicate, build, develop, grow, share consciousness. Like, we should use that more. I think that is so magical. And the fact that we have different alternative types of languages and cultures, and I think we just need to appreciate each other more and just explore different ideas, right? Or just care enough to participate in the conversation. So, my name is Evie. Thank you so much for tuning in to Stand on Business. I'm gonna see y'all. Figured out how. Watch me as I break this thing down now.